What you see now is Bachin Office software independently developed by us. This series consists of multiple software, such as the three most commonly used Office suites, Documents, Forms, and Slides. Bachin Office has them all. This series of software development is also written in the Luo language, and all aspects of functions also have self-developed independent property rights. For this reason, we have applied for more than 50 related patents, and Bachin operating system has applied for global. There are more than 300 patents. Currently, most of the domestic office software only has a basic three-piece set of functions, and the functions are relatively single. In addition, there are also situations where the format is disordered due to incompatibility with the Off series. There are also problems with software crashes and too many advertisements. In response to these problems, Bachin Technology has specially developed a new version of the software. Bachin Office, developed with full Chinese programming, can solve the problems well. In terms of software functions, we support most of the functions of the Off series, and also solve the problem of formatting disorder after opening in other Office software. Various documents of Bachin Office software can be seamlessly switched between the Off series and the Off series. Luo Yang's narration resonated with many users in the live broadcast room. Microsoft's Off series software is too expensive, you can only use pirated versions. One thing to say, Inshan Office is okay to use, but the free version has too many ads. The official has now phased out all the Off series and replaced them with domestic software such as Inshan Office, Yamawa Office, and Longdao Office. The functions are indeed inferior. In addition to the basic three-piece suite, we have also developed other suites, such as the Aurora Mailbox Client, which provides private and enterprise-level email services in multiple languages. The email server is developed and maintained by Bachin Technology's Information Security Department, the security definitely the top level in the world. Bachin Notepad is a very easy-to-use software. We have collected opinions from many other users of similar software and added these improvements to Notepad. Bachin Notepad is very suitable for use on tablets, laptops, mobile phones and other devices. By using it on any device, the data on any device can be logged into the cloud through the user's personal account and used seamlessly on each device. Bachin Web Editor, Polaris Web, a web design software developed by Bachin Technology, is very suitable for beginners to develop and design web pages. Bachin Meeting, Polaris Meeting, is a professional multi-person video office conferencing software. Due to the epidemic this year, video office software has risen rapidly. We will definitely not miss this rapidly expanding market. For this reason, Bachin Technology has specially developed this software. Through the underlying support of the Bachin system, the Bachin conference software has excellent stability and security. For this reason, we have expanded the dedicated network bandwidth and added servers, which can accommodate tens of millions of people online at the same time. Bachin Chat, Polaris Talk, is an instant messaging software developed for enterprise users. In addition to having most common messaging software functions, Bachin Chat also supports Bachin Office Family Bucket data calling. You can easily on this chat software, you can check, download, upload, and organize your data in other Bachin Office software. Bachin Publishing, Polaris Publish, is a professional-level publishing application software specially developed for the publishing industry. When developing this software, Bachin Technology specially hired a development team from a domestic professional software company to be responsible for this project development. The software has two versions, professional level and desktop level. The former is suitable for professionals with higher requirements, while the latter is suitable for entry-level small and medium-sized enterprises and is easier to get started. Bachin Database Simple version, Polaris SQL Simple, is a desktop-level domestic database with completely self-developed and independent property rights. For some small and medium-sized enterprises and websites, Bachin Database Simple version can be used to complete most data processing. In addition to the above-mentioned software, there is also Bachin Cloud Disk 2.0 version that we launched after optimization. Now Bachin Cloud Disk has larger free space and more functions. It also breaks through the technical barriers with many Bachin Office software and so on. Users can, by logging into your personal account, you can easily store data for calling any Bachin software. As Luo Yang narrated, everyone in the audience was almost stunned. Damn it, this has too many functions, right? Counting the basic three-piece set, Bachin Office provides a total of 11 Office suites with different functions. You must know that even Microsoft's Office has continued to accumulate over a long period of development before it has grown to such a rich product line, and more importantly, these software are all domestic Office software that is self-developed and has independent property rights. Whoosh whoosh. Warm applause directly burst into the audience. Damn it, Luotian secretly used his big move again. This is the rhythm of fully defeating Microsoft. Other domestic office software, we agreed to fight like dogs together, but you quietly came out. We actually even created a domestic database. It's still a purely Chinese independent property code. As a senior engineer, I suddenly feel that my life has been in vain. The company has been busy for several years without a representative product. If I quit, I will change my job to Beichin Technology. The barrage in the live broadcast room is dense at the moment. This time we are well prepared. We have applied for 2/3 of the company's servers. There will definitely be no crash in the live broadcast room. I bet my hair on it. The person in charge of Huya looked at the background data with satisfaction. Almost from the moment it started broadcasting, Beichin Technology directly became the most popular among all channels on the Huya platform. At the same time, the server almost crashed during the last press conference, which made the person in charge really sweat. Now that Beichin Technology has grown into a behemoth, it is natural to be more cautious. Outside the live broadcast room, Penguin, Alibaba, Inshan, Microsoft and other companies all look serious at this moment. Beichin Technology once again released its ultimate move, making them all prepare for it. Microsoft and Inshan Office are the top 2 companies in the country in terms of office software. The emergence of Beichin Office will definitely have a huge impact on both Penguin and Alibaba. Pay more attention to the instant messaging software and video office software developed by Beichin Technology. Aurora Search has become an opponent that Xiandu attaches great importance to at the moment. We cannot rule out the possibility that Beichin Chat will become Penguin Chat's opponent. Any buds must be extinguished immediately. The opponents targeted by the Beichin conference include our Penguin conference, Alibaba's Thumbtack conference, and Microsoft's Teams software, and the battlefield of video office software is about to be reshuffled. In a mansion somewhere, John, who had just been discharged from hospital a month ago and went home to recuperate, saw Luo Yang in the live broadcast room and suddenly felt the urge to be stunned again. 2 months ago, he suffered a cerebral hemorrhage because he was so angry that he stayed up late for a week. He was finally rescued by medical staff, but before his body recovered, he might have to say goodbye to his position as supervisor when he saw the Office software series released by Beichin Technology. John became furious and smashed the remote control to pieces. Fark! John roared angrily, and the attendant next to him hurriedly stepped forward to turn off the TV, but John angrily stopped him. Don't turn it off. I want to see all this with my own eyes. I want to see his final rampage before the disaster strikes. I want to watch Beichin Technology be destroyed bit by bit. Ha ha ha, a severe crackdown on Beichin Technology is coming. At the press conference, Luo Yang demonstrated various office software to everyone one by one, which aroused great enthusiasm from everyone. After the 11 office software were displayed, Luo Yang concluded. Currently, these are the only office software products currently launched by Beichin Technology. We will continue to develop more software in the future. Thank you all. What I want to show next is a very important member of the basic software, the database. For most ordinary internet users, databases are relatively unfamiliar. After Luo Yang briefly introduced the database to everyone, he began to show the Beichin database. Beichin database also adopts Chinese programming, which greatly simplifies the number of codes. In contrast, the number of codes of ancient databases with a lifespan of several decades has reached a daunting level for any programmer. When you see these codes, you often have the urge to collapse. Ha, I know who Luotian is talking about. I also know about the beast bone inscriptions. It is said that a programmer resigned less than a week after joining the job, and was directly destroyed by the huge code of the beast bone inscriptions database. Ha ha ha. Outside the live broadcast room, the staff such as Beast Bone 1 and others who were watching the live broadcast looked at each other in confusion. They didn't say anything, but they were crazily giving Luo Yang likes in their hearts. Luo Yang is so damn right. Not only the Beast Bone script database, but almost any huge software that has lasted for decades has such a problem. For example, Microsoft's Win system had about 40 million lines of code in the XP era, reached 50 million lines in the 7 era, and now reaches the terrifying hundreds of millions of lines in the current 10 version. Because the technical development team of a software is constantly changing from its launch to the present. Maybe when the original development team developed the software, They never thought of setting aside a unified standard for latecomers. After the latecomers joined the development team and added a certain function to the software according to the company's requirements, they discovered that other bugs had appeared and then repaired them urgently. However, when repairing, faced with countless codes left by the predecessor, most of them were modified without changing the main body, because a lot of code affects the whole system. Bugs will only get more and more correct unless it is completely overturned and started all over again, but that's impossible. Software companies also know how difficult it is to redevelop a product that is popular in the market, not to mention that there are countless users using it. Therefore, the possibility of tearing it down and starting over was directly rejected. As time goes by, similar situations continue to play out: updates, bugs appear, fixes, bugs are fixed, updates again, bugs appear again. The efforts of generations of programmers have directly created a terrifyingly huge software. With tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of lines of code, any new programmer will feel numb. I can't do this job anymore. It's my hair. I don't know how many programmers encountered this situation. They grabbed their hair with both hands and roared almost to the point of collapse. Programmers' hairlines are not without reason. In contrast, software written in Luo language has greatly slowed down the situation. First, software programmed entirely in Chinese is much more convenient and faster than English in fixing bugs. Second, as we optimize the Luo language, the effective code of the Luo language now far exceeds that of other high-level languages. Judging from the products of rival companies with hundreds of millions of lines of code, if we recompile with the Luo language, we can save at least half of the code. This is why Beichen Technology develops products so quickly. In the near future, it is conceivable that more and more people will use Chinese programming. At least in Dragon Kingdom, English programming language will gradually withdraw from the stage. After receiving another wave of applause, Luoyang continued to introduce new products. I have shown you the simplified version of Beichen Database before, which is desktop-level software. It is launched as a suite of office software. What I want to introduce now is the enterprise-level database. As one of the three basic software, the database is very important. Since Beichen Technology has conquered even the operating system, it is not surprising that it will turn to developing databases. Beichen Database, Polaris SQL, is developed for enterprise-level users. At the same time, corresponding versions can be developed according to the needs of users in different industries. After testing, we can tell you very solemnly that Beichen Database has the ability to perfectly replace the products of our friends. For example, our friends' Animal Bone Script database and DB2 database. Customers can directly import all data into Beichen through the supporting software developed by Beichen.ai in the database. In addition to its unique functions, Beichen Database also supports the working environment of mainstream databases in the simulated market. After all, considering that many programmers engaged in the database industry have studied these mainstream databases before, in order to reduce the unemployment rate and reduce the number of new databases for customers in the time it took to train programmers, we developed this feature. So far, Beichen Technology has reached cooperation agreements with some business partners. They will be the first batch of users to trial Beichen Database. If the trial results are satisfactory, Beichen Technology will officially become the other party's database software supplier. Following Luoyang's words, the names of rows of companies were displayed on the big screen. At the top are the three giants in Longwa's telecommunications industry. It turns out that long before the press conference, Luoyang secretly invited the heads of the technical departments of the three giants to Beichen Technology and secretly showed them the power of the Beichen database. As the three giants in Longwa's telecommunications industry, their desire for domestic databases is extremely strong. After the US eavesdropping incident a few years ago, all state-owned enterprises in the Dragon Kingdom began to implement plans to get rid of foreign databases. In the telecommunications industry, the database of animal bone inscriptions occupies the vast majority of shares. In the early years, it even reached a monopoly status of more than 90%. The three giants are also developing their own databases. However, the database can be listed as one of the three major basic software components along with the operating system. It is not so easy to develop. If it were not for the humanoid plugin Luoyang, it would be difficult for Beichen Technology to complete the development of a domestic database. Breakthrough. Moreover, most of the current domestic databases are developed based on the code of MySQL, an open-source database owned by Sunshine Company, which was acquired by Beast Bone Script a few years ago. This means that these domestic databases that use MySQL code are still unsafe, this is the same as the domestic system developed based on the Linux kernel. The emergence of Beichin technology is a ray of light for Longwei in terms of basic software. Beichin computer system, which has a self-developed system core and is compiled entirely in Chinese, has become Longwei's breakthrough in the field of operating systems, and today, Beichin technology once again presented a National Day gift to Longwei. A domestic database with self-developed independent property rights and all Chinese assembly code has officially arrived, he roared angrily at the foreign database entrenched in the Dragon Kingdom. This is a battle without gunpowder. Domestic databases have appeared, and a war between the two sides is inevitable. Whoosh! Applause resounded throughout the audience again. Luo Yang can't remember the first time he was applauded. He enjoyed this feeling very much, looking at the pairs of excited glasses in the audience and the familiar faces from the Dragon Kingdom. A feeling called national pride was rising in his heart. The Dragon Kingdom of this world has risen. The basic software field, which has always been a shortcoming, will be completed by Luo Yang. Below the three telecom giants are another series of blockbuster names: Dragon Kingdom Bank, Dragon Kingdom Cosmos Bank, Dragon Kingdom Establishment Bank, Dragon Kingdom Commercial Bank, Dragon Kingdom Farmland Bank, Dragon Kingdom Post Office Bank, Dragon Kingdom Transportation Bank. The atmosphere at the press conference was already a little crazy. The 9 well-known state-owned banks in Longwei are all on this list, and behind these banks, there are a series of densely packed names of local banks: Shanghai Development Bank, Rongqing Bank, Pengcheng Bank. There are more than 20 people. In addition to banks, there are other heavyweight companies, for example, Longwei Electric Power Company, a state-owned enterprise ranked third among the Fortune 500 companies. There are also some other companies below, basically all state-owned enterprises of Dragon Kingdom. This is a return gift from the mother of Dragon Kingdom. After reaching a cooperation agreement with Party J, Luo Yang contacted Ouyang Ming and showed the Beichin database to the other party. Then Ouyang Ming left with the test floppy disk of Beichin database. A few days later, Luo Yang received a call from Ouyang Ming. On the phone, Ouyang Ming only mentioned a few words, and that afternoon, Beichin Technology received cooperation invitations from several giants. Ever since, Luo Yang directly invited some giants and secretly went to Beichin Technology to experience Beichin database. Obviously, these giants were recommended by Party J. For several giants, the performance of Beichin database is amazing. Ever since, there has been subsequent cooperation. After the three giants reached a cooperation agreement, many other giants also came to the door. I am honored to tell you that after reaching cooperation agreements with the three major telecommunications giants, Beichin Technology went out again and reached cooperation with Longwei Electric Power Company and most of the domestic banks. Beichin database has achieved important breakthroughs in the three major industries of telecommunications, finance, and electric power. Partners in these three major industries will fully promote the Beichin database after the test is completed. This time, the entire audience stood up. Representatives sent by several giants who had been staying in the audience officially stepped onto the stage and delivered speeches about cooperation with Beichin Technology. It was only then that the other audience members realized that these middle-aged people who had been sitting in the audience turned out to be representatives sent by major giants. Hiss. My scalp feels numb right now. I feel like half of the Dragon Kingdom is here. In fact, it's almost the same. These three major industries are basically state-owned enterprises, and their influence is huge. It would be awesome if Longwei Tobacco came too. Well, Longwei Tobacco's demand for databases doesn't seem that strong. But after this press conference, I think Beichin database will spread to most state-owned enterprises in a very short period of time. I think so too. These three major industries value data security the most. If it can pass the audit standards of the three major industries, Beichin database definitely has the potential to dominate. At the same time, major media at the scene have immediately issued reports. The domestic database is born. Beichin Technology has another victory. The backbone of the Dragon Kingdom. Beichin Technology declares war on overseas giants again. Following Microsoft, Beast Script, IDM, SAP, and Sybase will also usher in a strong counterattack from Beichin Technology. What kind of legendary experience does this 22-year-old young billionaire have? Shocked. Those things about me and Luo Yang. In major reports, most people first learned about the importance of databases, and then the content of the press conference. At the same time, the state media who were recording and broadcasting interviews at the scene also received instructions from their superiors. After the press conference, the first-hand information from the scene will be sent back to the station as soon as possible. Today's evening news conference will report on Beichin Technology. Good guy, in just 2 months, Beichin Technology will be on the evening news again. The state media reporters who participated in the last press conference couldn't help but be amazed. Last time, he was selected as a lucky audience and went on stage to experience the Beichin computer system. This time, because of his experience with Beichin Technology, the interview task fell on him again. On the other side of the ocean, in the United States, a supervisor of the Beast Bone script turned livid and slammed the table in anger. We can't give Beichin Technology any more time to grow. During this period, we have been patiently waiting for Luo Yang's reply, but it is obvious that he has no intention of selling Beichin Technology. We're all in the palm of his hand. Like a clown. When he released the Beichin computer system before, we didn't feel worried. Instead, we felt that we had a chance to defeat Microsoft. But now, they have already started to attack the database. This is absolutely not allowed. The board of directors will not allow us to allow Beichin Technology to continue to grow. Call IDM and Microsoft. It's time to fight back against Beichin Technology. We want the people of Longwei to know who has the right to speak in the industry. Beichin Technology, which they have high hopes for, is in our hands, vulnerable in front of me. After receiving a call from the director of the Animal Bone Text, Bob, the head of IDM, looked uncertain. To be honest, IDM still hopes to acquire Beichin Technology, but unfortunately, the ambition of the boy from Long Kingdom is too great, and he has provoked too many enemies. IDM is very concerned about Beichin Technology. Especially not long ago, Zhou Hao, the head of the Human Resources Department who once worked for IDM, joined, making IDM even more interested in Beichin Technology. At Microsoft, after receiving calls from Beast Bone Script and IDM, founder Guy Ci showed a confident smile. It seems that the intentional indulgence during this period has achieved the desired effect. Now Beichin Technology has aroused the anger of global software giants. It's a pity, I gave you a chance. Guy Ci was also a little regretful. He had always believed that it was possible for Microsoft to acquire Beichin Technology. As a result, the news that came from Longwa headquarters some time ago directly made his mentality explode. What are you talking about? That idiot George only quoted $10 billion? Geiji was stunned at that time. What is this guy thinking? I don't know that the board of directors and I personally issued an order. Is it okay to offer Beichin Technology as long as it does not exceed $50 billion? Boss, it is said that George thinks that Beichin Technology is not worth the money. Instead, he thinks that Beichin Technology is deliberately fishing, so what? So he went golfing and lost. Tell him that he is fired. Then the person on the other end of the phone heard the sound of something being smashed. Compared to George, who was doing all kinds of amazing things, John, who had a cerebral hemorrhage because he worked too hard, was more satisfied with Guy Ci. I hope John can recover as soon as possible. The conference site. After introducing the Office software and database, the press conference is actually coming to an end. At this moment, Luo Yang is introducing Egret Cloud Computing. We are very optimistic about Egret Technology. This is a company with great potential. Beichin Technology does not care about temporary losses. The future of Egret Technology is what we value most. Egret Cloud will become an important link between Beichin Computer System and Beichin Office software. In the future, Beichin Computer System plus Beichin Office software plus Egret Cloud will become the most commonly used choice for most users. After Egret Technology joined Beichin, the technical team and I redesigned the underlying software architecture of Egret Cloud. Now Egret Cloud has been completely reborn. At present, Egret Cloud has reopened its business to the outside world. We welcome everyone to come for consultation. This press conference ends here. Thank you everyone. The press conference ended with warm applause. The reporter from the state media came directly to Luo Yang, with only Li Chang between him and Luo Yang. Luo Yang nodded, and Li Chang gave up the position in front of him. The reporter wiped the cold sweat from his head. Luo Yang's bodyguard is definitely not an ordinary person. After all, Luo Yang is also a billionaire now. It is normal to have a few bodyguards around him, but it is a bit strange not to have one. Hello, Mr. Luo, I am a reporter from the official media. The leader hopes that I can interview you for a few questions, which will be broadcast on the evening news today, Can. After interviewing a few questions that outsiders were most curious about Luo Yang, the official media reporter interviewed director Lu and representatives sent by several other giant companies before leaving, and then immediately sent back the news of the interview. In Tailai.in Taiwan, the director, who had already received the order from the leadership, immediately started preparing with the team. After the press conference ended, Luo Yang sent away all the big guys who came to support him, and then went directly back to his private bedroom on the 16th floor, where he simply took a shower and changed his clothes. The press conference was so frenetic that Luo Yang was sweating profusely and his clothes were soaked. Not only Luo Yang, but also the more than 1,000 employees of Beichin Technology are also very excited at this moment and have no thoughts about work. The entrepreneurial team of Beichin Technology, the Feihai finance team, the team of engineers who joined the job fair, and the technical team of Egrid Technology total more than 1,000 people. The headquarters of Egrid Technology has also been moved to the 7th floor of the building. Beichin building is getting more and more lively that night. The evening news was played on all the big screens inside the Beichin building. According to our news, this morning, Beichin Technology, a well-known software company in my country, held another product launch conference and released Beichin Office Software and Beichin Database. These two major software products are both products carefully built by Beichin Technology, and they also have self-developed and independent property rights. Among them, the emergence of Beichin Database has made up for Longwa's shortcomings in domestic databases. It is reported that Beichin Database Enterprise Edition has reached the world-class level. At present, several well-known domestic companies have reached cooperation agreements with Beichin Technology and are testing Beichin Database. After passing the test, Beichin Database will become one of its a replacement for core databases. The data security of these three major industries, telecommunications, finance, and electric power, is related to the lives of people across the country, and Beichin Technology's products have always been known for their security. It's time to get off work, but no one in the entire Beichin building wants to leave, especially the new employees. Their faces were flushed with excitement at this moment, and a feeling of pride came to their hearts. This is Beichin Technology. Almost all employees of Beichin Technology have this kind of pilgrimage-like idea, especially the younger employees, who have not yet been smoothed out by society. One of the reasons why they are attracted to join Beichin Technology is because they are passionate. In the office, Luo Yang stood with his hands behind his hands, facing the mighty Huangpu River. Today's weather is not very good, it is overcast. Last week's weather forecast predicted that a typhoon would hit Shanghai tomorrow. While everyone was very excited, Luo Yang looked solemn. Computer systems, office software, and databases. Beichin Technology's continuous breakthroughs in basic software have probably caused dissatisfaction among many giants. Looking at the Huangpu River in the distance, Luo Yang had a strong premonition. This time tomorrow will definitely not be peaceful. The storm is coming and the wind is filling the building.